Huh. Imagine paying $400 for an iPhone 12, testing it out right then in person, thinking everything's perfect. Then you get home and it's not even an iPhone. Crazy, right? I wish I could say this was a bad dream, but nope, it really happened to me. And trust me, the story is crazier than whatever you're thinking in your mind right now. And I know you have a list of things I could have done differently. Did you check this? Did you do that? I know the checklist and I ticked all of them off, but I was still scammed. And this scam was an eye opener for me and a hard lesson to learn. So, why am I sharing this? Because I'm usually smarter than that. I'm smart. So, for this scammer to have gotten me is something I need to share. And also because I want to make sure it doesn't happen to you. Scams like this are happening more often these days, especially to newcomers trying to save a few dollars. And trust me, every dollar counts when you're new in Canada. As an immigrant, you're trying to get your life together. You've already spent a fortune moving here, visa fees, plane tickets, first and last month's rent. And after all that, when you see a chance to save some money, you jump on it, right? Yes, you do. Hmm. Hmm. So, when I saw an iPhone 12 for $400 on Facebook Marketplace, it felt like I had hit the jackpot. And don't call me cheap. And don't say only $400. You would have wanted this phone if you saw the post too. And do you know how many hours you need to work to get $400? So many hours. Okay, I'm moving too fast. Let me start from the beginning. And while I'm doing that, if you have ever been scammed, give us the gist in the comments. I'm sure it will make for some interesting reading for all of us. So, starting from the beginning, it all started on one of those random Sunday afternoons, when you're just browsing online, not even looking for anything serious. I stumbled upon this post on Facebook Marketplace, an iPhone 12 in perfect condition, almost new for $400. Now, I had been wanting to upgrade my phone for months, but I couldn't justify the price tag. So, seeing that deal, I felt like it was a gift from the gods. I messaged the seller right away and he responded within minutes. Polite, quick, and sounded like a nice guy. He told me he was moving out of the country in a week and needed to sell his stuff fast. It seemed legit, and to be honest, I didn't have a reason to doubt him. He suggested we meet at a busy mall because, public places are safer, right? Or so I thought. The day of the meeting, I was hyped. I had the cash ready and I was finally going to get my hands on that iPhone 12. When I arrived at the mall, I spotted him quickly. He looked normal, like the type of guy you would see in line at the coffee shop, nothing sketchy. He handed me the phone and I started testing it. I checked the IMEI number, I powered it on, I looked through the apps, it was spotless. Honestly, I even used one of the apps right there to just further test it, and everything checked out. Or at least I thought it did. But here's where I messed up. After I tested the phone and everything seemed fine, the guy goes, "Oh, let me just reset it for you so it's fresh and clean." And like a trusting fool, I handed it back to him. In hindsight, that was my biggest mistake because I think I took my eyes off him to get my money from my purse or something like that. I don't even know. But he fiddled with the phone for a minute and then he handed it back to me. I barely glanced at it. I was just excited to seal the deal. So I handed him the cash, thanked him, and we went our separate ways. Man, that was where I messed up big time. Man, I messed up there. Come to think of it, did that guy jazz me? Because how could he give me phone? Because how could he give me the phone back? And I did not even check. I just believed that, I was getting the same phone that I gave to him. I guess because I expect that that's the normal thing that will happen. Isn't it? I mean, if someone takes the phone to clear it and they're giving you the phone back, you expect that it's the same phone, right? Which of course is what I expected, but how wrong I was. How very wrong I was. Now, I know I should have checked the phone again. I could beat myself just thinking about it. I just believed that everything was fine because I checked it the first time. Now, when I got home, I couldn't wait to set up my new iPhone 12. But when I took it out of the box, something felt off. The phone seemed slightly heavier, but I brushed it off. I powered it on, and bam, the screen was lagging. The apps were glitchy. I thought maybe it needed an update. So I checked the settings. That was when it hit me. This wasn't an iPhone 12. This was not the phone I had examined at the mall. It was an iPhone 7, like a completely different phone. And I don't even know how he pulled it off. It was a perfect switch. The phone I tested at the mall was definitely an iPhone 12, but this was some old, beat up iPhone 7 with a phony screen protector. It wasn't the phone I paid for. It was a shock. I felt like a total idiot. And I knew at that moment I had been scammed. Of course, I tried to message the guy right away, but his profile gone, completely disappeared. I couldn't even find a trace of him. And I wasn't surprised. I called the mall security to check if they had cameras, but turns out they didn't monitor that area where we met. It was like this guy vanished into thin air. I know you're laughing at me. Now, I even went back to the mall a couple of days later, hoping that I would spot him, like some kind of detective on a mission. But that didn't work either. I mean, come to think of it, like, would he come back to that mall and be hanging around so that I can find him? Not likely. I didn't find him. Hmm. Now, here's the thing. I know what you're thinking. Why should you care about my little Facebook marketplace scam? You should. Because it's not just about the $400 that I lost, it's about the bigger picture. As immigrants, we're trying to save money. But when you're not familiar with the tricks and scams that can happen here in Canada, you can become vulnerable. And that's exactly what these scammers are counting on. And there are many other sneaky scams that are out there. I'll give you some examples. There are phishing scams where scammers impersonate banks or government agencies, especially CRA, trying to get your personal information. Please don't give it to them, no matter how much they threaten or how much they say you're owing the CRA. The CRA will not call you and tell you that you're owing them. No, they will just tell you by email or your CRA account. And of course, there's the infamous rental scam, where they either rent to multiple people or they rent you a non existent property. So please never send money without seeing the property in person and verifying the landlord's identity. Check scam is another big one where someone sends you a check and asks you to deposit into your account and then wire part of the money back to them. I have had many offers for this in my mail and in my SMS. They are always sending me this message. Please, I am begging you, never ever do this, because what will happen is that later the check will bounce and the bank will debit you for the value of that check, but then you would have lost the money you sent to the scammer. So please always wait for checks to fully clear before making any transactions. Another very popular one that I've seen is the delivery scam. Now, for this one, you would receive a message claiming you have a delivery package, but that you have to pay a fee for them to release the package. Please don't pay, because most times it's a scam. What you need to do is to reach out to the real delivery company by phone if you are expecting a package. Most times you are not even expecting anything. So probably this is not for you. But I wonder why a lot of people fall for this scam. I don't know, maybe they think that there's someone that sent them a package, but if nobody sent you a package, then you probably are not expecting anything. Please ignore that message. There are many, many, many scams. I cannot even start talking about them all in today's video. Now, if you know any of this scam that I haven't mentioned, please leave them in the comments. And if you have any personal experience or you know anyone who has had any experience with any of this or all the many other scams that are out there that are mainly targeted at immigrants, especially the new ones, please leave in the comments and your personal experience so that a lot of us can also learn from your experience as well. Now, my story is important because it could have been you or your friend or your cousin who just moved to Canada and is trying to build a new life. Scammers target people like us because we're looking for deals and we're not always familiar with how things work here yet. Now, my story is not over. Somehow, that $400 was very painful. And I kept thinking about how I was going to find this guy. I didn't have a plan of what I was going to do for when I find him, but I was very, very upset with myself. And I continued to think, how did this guy do this scam to me? And how can I find him? Because I believe that he was still on Facebook Marketplace scamming other people. So this is what I did. Now, because I know that he had already blocked me on Facebook, I used my friend's Facebook account to check again on Facebook Marketplace, and I started looking for similar listings like the one I saw before. And guess what? I found another post from the same guy, different profile, but same description, same price. I was like, what? Is this what this guy does for a living? Hey. So I set up another meeting with him. This time, I wasn't alone. I brought a couple of friends and we planned to confront him. But he didn't show up. I have a feeling that he spotted me before we spotted him, or maybe somehow he knew we were onto him. It was disappointing, but at least I now know that this guy is a pro at pulling off these scams, and I need a way to let people know about him, but I don't know how. If you have any ideas, please let me know in the comments below. So, what did I learn from all of this? A few really important things, and I hope you will take them to heart. First, never hand the phone back once you've tested it. It sounds so simple, but trust me, that's where they get you. If someone asks to take the phone back after you've tested it, it's a huge red flag. Secondly, slow down. Don't rush because you feel awkward or pressured. Take your time to double check everything before handing over your money. And finally, if a deal sounds too good to be true, it probably is. I mean, an iPhone 12 for $400? In hindsight, yes, that was way too low, but I was just too eager to save money. So I ignored my instincts. I did not even listen to my instincts. Now, these scammers are getting smarter, and we have to stay one step ahead of them so that they don't scam us, they don't steal our monies, and they don't scam any of our friends and family. So let's keep putting out the word there so that people are aware of the many scams. Because in Canada, in the US, and even in all first world countries, there are scams, and many of them use the same modus operandi. Now, talking about mistakes we make as newcomers, we also make money mistakes that can cost us big. So watch this video here, which is the story of 4 women's money mistakes that you can learn from. I'll see you in the next one.